This dress. This is where the story begins and where it never ends. A garment of pure silk and lace, a symbol of hope. But at Blackwood Manor, this dress is not a relic. It is a magnet for misery and a source of absolute physical cold. The spirit that haunts these walls is Elara, a bride who perished on her wedding night. But her haunting is not rage. It is profound, paralyzing sorrow. The burning question is this: what was the betrayal so catastrophic, so total, that it forced her spirit to permanently freeze itself to the objects of her despair? We are going to find the answer. We will peel back the layers of her love, her shame, and her suicide to understand the physics of her grief. Only then can we explain why the ghost of Elara generates a cold that can extinguish life itself. Elara's love for Arthur was the only warmth in her aristocratic life. She was utterly devoted, believing every word of his promise of forever. He was dashing, persuasive, and utterly convincing in his love. A convincing, beautiful lie that would eventually become the weapon that ended her life. 3 days before the wedding, Arthur left on a supposed emergency journey. He promised to return before the final bell. But the bell tolled midnight, and she stood alone. The guests were gone, the manor silent. Elara, dressed in the hope of her life, realized she was not delayed. She was abandoned. The wedding day, Elara, radiant yet anxious, stood at her station. Hour upon hour she waited. The feast cooled. The guests departed. The final bell tolled midnight, marking the transition from her wedding day to the first day of her shame. Arthur was gone. Not delayed, not lost, but deliberately absent. The truth arrived, not through Arthur, but through a note confirming his true intentions. He had married another woman, richer, more politically advantageous, in a different city that very day. Her wedding gown became her shroud, her loyalty his joke. It wasn't just heartbreak. It was the total annihilation of her dignity, her name, and her reason for living. Her reality dissolved. The pain of betrayal and the crippling weight of public scorn became unbearable. With no future and no hope to anchor her, Elara took her final step in the dark. She gave her last breath to the manor, ensuring that where her life ended, her haunting would begin. When Elara's spirit departed, it did not ascend, it fractured. Her devastation was so potent that it created an immediate, powerful psychic shockwave. This was the birth of the haunting. The cold was not subtle. It was instantaneous. The mirror she last looked into cracked, and objects she touched were instantly locked in ice. Her betrayal occurred the moment the wedding day ended. And so, time itself became an enemy. The grand hall clock at Blackwood Manor, a timepiece that had run flawlessly for centuries, is now forever stopped at 12:05 a.m. A perpetual monument to the first moment of her everlasting shame. Her emotional agony is expressed through the senses. Visitors report an overwhelming, suffocating scent of fresh orange blossoms in the empty ballroom, a ghost perfume. And sometimes, from the old piano where she and Arthur practiced their wedding song, a single sorrowful key is struck, a final ghostly lament. The physical manifestation of her despair can be terrifyingly intimate. On cold nights, investigators have documented the appearance of a perfectly formed, ice-cold handprint on the furniture or windows. It is Elara reaching out, but the touch is not one of longing, but one of absolute paralyzing cold, the ultimate barrier against human kindness. And always, there is the window, the center of her curse. When the storm rages, she takes up her post, forever reliving the moment of her abandonment. Her vigil is a warning. Do not disturb the heartbroken bride, for her pain is contagious and her touch lethal. Elara, the heartbroken bride, found the pain of betrayal so great that she could not let it go. Her spirit remains a perpetual echo of that shattered moment, binding itself to the very air of Blackwood Manor. And so, her story is a chilling reminder. Sometimes, the greatest prison is built not by stone walls, but by a lie. And in the dead of night at Blackwood Manor, the temperature always drops, forever confirming that Elara is still waiting, still wounded, and still freezing the air with her eternal sorrow. Her vigil continues, an unending testament to a promise that was broken and a tragedy that refuses to end. Centuries have passed since Elara's heartbreak. Blackwood Manor stands, but it is a shell. No family dares to inhabit its halls, for the chilling presence of the heartbroken bride has claimed it utterly, driving away all warmth and all life. The local villagers speak of Elara in hushed tones, warning outsiders of the manor's curse. They know the signs, the sudden gusts of frigid air, even on a summer's day, the phantom scent of orange blossoms carried on the wind. For them, Elara is not just a story, but a constant cold threat. Few dare to venture inside, but those who have return forever changed. They speak of a cold that isn't just physical, but spiritual. A cold so profound, it feels as though the very concept of joy has been ripped from your soul, leaving only a hollow ache. It is Elara's pain, shared. Do not seek her. Do not try to offer comfort or demand answers. Her pain is an impenetrable barrier. To approach her is to invite her endless sorrow into your own heart, to feel the chilling despair of a love that was murdered by a lie. Elara's tale is more than a ghost story. It is a stark, chilling lesson, a warning that betrayal leaves wounds so deep they can transcend death itself, and that some hearts, once broken absolutely, will forever remain frozen, a testament to an eternal, unyielding pain.